Hey guys, Kelly Tekin. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time at the channel, and please don't forget to subscribe down below. Today, I need to talk to you about something. I need to start with this. Okay, let me first say, if you have lost a significant amount of weight, that's wonderful. If you have learned to do a pull-up, if you've learned to do 10 pull-ups, that's great. However, that does not mean that you are all of a sudden now a trainer. It does not mean that, okay? It's wonderful that you've lost all that weight, and it's wonderful that you can do 10 pull-ups. I love that. That's great. That does not mean that all of a sudden you are qualified to work people out or to write training programs. People seem to think that if something has worked for them, for example, they have lost weight, they've learned a certain nutrition plan that works for them and they've lost weight, a certain way of training that makes them feel good. They tend to think sometimes that that program that helped them is going to help everyone else. If it were that easy, then everyone would be on the same program and the same nutrition. We'd all respond the same and we'd all reach our goals. No problem. However, it does not work that way. Let me tell you something. I have seen so many men that have lost weight, that have gotten strong or have gotten in really good shape, and because it has worked for them, they think, let me get my wife in shape or my girlfriend. Like, that's all it takes. I know how to do it. But they forget that men are different than women. Us women don't respond the same to diet or training or different things as men do. First of all, that's the easy part. We don't respond the same. Men and women, totally different. Second of all, not every overweight woman responds the same to a nutrition plan. Some women might lose weight from dropping their carbs down low. They feel fine doing that. Other women, like myself, cannot drop her carbs down low because she will be a zombie and it does not work for her. There are people on social media that think they are trainers, okay? And you got to be careful because they are all over the place. The ones on Instagram are they actually have a name and they're called Insta trainers. And they aren't even trainers. They are, many of them, who have just learned to do some exercise and then do it like really good or something, and then get online and post all this stuff, and they start telling the world how they need to train or how they're supposed to eat. And they have no education. They've never been to a class. They have no credibility whatsoever, except for the fact that they can do that certain exercise. When you take advice from someone or you follow their program, you need to look at their background. Look at who they have trained. Now, if I come in and I say, my name is Joe Blow and I trained George St. Pierre, the UFC fighter who is an all-time, like, a great fighter and this great athlete. I trained him. That does not mean that I know what I'm doing, because I don't care who you are. Your pet could train George St. Pierre and he would be amazing because he is a natural athlete. Anyone could train him and he's going to be amazing. Show me someone who was in horrible shape or overweight, and now you got him in this great shape, and A year later, they're still in that great shape. And 2 years later, they are still maintaining that, or they have gotten better and better. That's what I want to see. Who have you trained? Okay, there should be a significant difference. Don't show me someone that's already awesome and say you trained them. Well, they were awesome before you trained them, so you're not telling me anything. Anyone could have trained them and they're going to be amazing. I want to see a difference. I want to see you went from this to this and you maintained that. I have seen many people train someone to drop weight and maybe even drop 100 pounds, but show me that person a year later. Is that 100 pounds still gone, or have they gained it all back and then some? Okay, that's a big deal. Do not tell me that you're a good trainer because you made someone throw up. A good workout does not make you tired. A good workout makes you better. A good program does not just make you tired or make you throw up. That is not a good gauge of a good program. A good program makes you better. It makes you your best. You keep seeing yourself get better and better. One of the things that makes me crazy, and you know this about me if you know me, you know that I cannot stand circus workouts. Now, what is a circus workout? That is when you get on Instagram or somewhere and you see people doing some exercise that's like ridiculous. Like, what does that do for you? Nothing except put you at risk for injury. These are called circus workouts or circus tricks. I used to just call them circus tricks. Someone would come into the gym, a client would come in and say, hey, Kel, have you seen, check out what they're doing on here, on this Instagram thing. It's an Insta trainer doing something. And I'd say, well, that's a circus trick. That's great, but that's for the circus. That's not for people that train and want to be fit and things like that. That's what I mean by circus trick. Okay, it belongs in the circus, not in the gym, not in a fitness program. When you start a fitness program, one of the most important things that you need to make sure that your trainer does, this is how you'll know you're with the right trainer, is they need to perform an assessment. That could be a number of things, but we want to make sure that they assess you and they know your strengths and weaknesses and your goals and things going on with your body so that you don't get injured. Here's an example. I get someone in and they have an anterior pelvic tilt. Okay? Now, if I'm a trainer that does not perform an assessment and I don't even look at, now I'm going to be able to tell if they have an anterior pelvic tilt by pretty much by just looking at them and the way they walk. So I'm going to see that. But let's say you get a trainer that is not educated and doesn't know that. They're not going to know that that person has an anterior pelvic tilt. If I have that person deadlifting heavy, like, okay, this guy comes in and says, I want to get strong and I know how to deadlift. Like, let's do deadlift. Okay. Oh yeah, let's go over. Let's do some heavy deadlifts. I am putting that person at huge risk for messing up their lower back and having a lot of pain. When you have an anterior tilt, the last thing you should be doing is heavy deadlifting. We need to correct that tilt before you even think of doing deadlifts. This is what I mean. This is why an assessment is so important, and it is so important to have an educated trainer. Don't just get online, look up workouts and, oh, that person's doing it, so I should do it. You need to be smart about it. you're going to save yourself a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. I just can't tell you how important it is to hire the right trainer, or to be very mindful of the workouts that you follow, the exercises that you choose to do that you see online.